Welcome to Pokemon Lair. I'm TD, and today we'll be unboxing a box of 10 Pokemon cards I sent to Professional Sports Authority over 18 months ago. I got them back, and now we're going to unbox them and see what grades I got. They packaged them in this nice box, professionally packaged so they don't get damaged during shipping. Let's get them out of here, and I'll check what grades we got. Let's go. I want to look at a 2000 Pokemon Team Rocket Dark Arbok, a Holo First Edition, the number 2 card. Looking at Arbok here, you can see that the holographics look really good. They're sparkling in this light. Our edges look really good from my point of view. Our centering, I think, is within spec from top to bottom and side to side. As I take a look at the back, I can see that there's no problems with the surface or graphics of the card. Our centering, I think, is within spec from side to side and top to bottom. As we look at our corners and our edges, our upper left corner and the upper edge have a few specks of damage. And we are going to get a grade of mint 9 for old Arbok. I like it. I like it a lot. I think we couldn't have done any better with that one. As we take a look at one of my favorite Pokemon, a 2000 Pokemon Team Rocket Dark Dragonite, a first edition, the number 22 card. I really like Dragonites. This one looks really clean. Our centering looks good from top to bottom and side to side, definitely within tolerance. Our edges and our corners, I don't see any issues that could make a difference. Taking a look at the back, I can see that their surface looks really clean. Our centering is within spec from side to side and within spec from top to bottom. Our corners on our edges are clean. Our upper right corner has some damage, and the lower left has a speck of 2 of damage. And that's going to give us a grade of mint 9 for old Dragonite. I like it. I like my Dragonite. Okay, here we go. A 2000 Pokemon Team Rocket Dark Charizard, a Holo First Edition, the number 4 card. The holographics on this card look fantastic, as you can see in the video. Our centering looks really good from top to bottom, and left to right, I think it's within spec. Our edges and our corners, I don't see any issues. I'm really excited about this card. As I turn this card over and look at the back, with my excitement, I can see that the surface looks great. Our centering, oh my god, it's within spec. Looking at our edges, they're nice and clean. Looking at our corners, they look really good until close inspection. I have a couple of specks of damage on the upper left and a speck or 2 on each of the right corners. That sucks. That's going to give us a grade of mint 9. That's really good for that card, but I wish it was a 10. Just a couple specks of bad markings, and I lost a 10. Dang it! I want to show you a 2000 Pokemon Team Rocket Dark Golbat, a first edition, the number 24 card. If you look at this front surface of this card, you can see that this graphics are nice and clean. There's no problems there. Looking at our centering from side to side, it looks within spec, but from our top to bottom, I think it's out of spec towards the bottom. Looking at our edges and our corners, they're nice and clean, but on our border, the upper border towards the left, we have a speck of dirt, and that can affect the grade. As we look at the back of the card, you can see that it looks really nice. I don't see any issues there. Our centering is to the left, and it possibly could be out of spec. And looking at our corners and our edges, I think there's some problems and damage on the lower right corner. And with all that, they're going to give us a grade of mint 9. That's pretty good for that Golbat. I thought it'd be less. Let's look at the 2000 Pokemon Team Rocket Dark Dugtrio, a Holo First Edition, the number 6 card. As you can see, the front surface of this card is immaculate. As you can see in the picture or the video, it's showing off its holo in the light. Our centering looks within spec from top to bottom and possibly within spec from left to right. Our edges and our corners, I think, look really good. I don't see any issues to deter from this card. As we turn this card over and I look at the back, I can see that this main surface looks really good. Our centering, I think, is within spec on all 4 ways. Our corners and our edges are good, but if you look, there's some damage to all 4 corners. And that's going to give us a grade of near mint 8. Isn't too bad, isn't the greatest. Let us look at a 2000 Pokemon Team Rocket Dark Hypno, a first edition, the number 26 card. Dark Hypno surface is nice, there's no damage, nothing wrong with it. Our centering looks really good, it looks with intolerance from side to side, and possibly might be out of tolerance from top to bottom towards the top. And our edges and our corners, I don't see any problems. As we start to examine the back, you can see that it looks really good, just like the front. Our graphics are great. Our centering, I think, is definitely within tolerance from side to side and pretty much top to bottom. Looking at our edges, they're clean. Looking at our corners, there's very slight damage to the upper right corner. And we're going to get a grade of mint 9 for this Hypno. Nice job. Like it. I like this 2000 Pokemon Team Rocket Dark Gyarados, a Holo first edition, the number 8 card. As you can see, the front surface is immaculate and nice on this card. The graphics are popping with the light on them. Our centering is within tolerance, I think, from top to bottom and left to right. Our edges and our corners, I think, are nice and crisp and clean. There's no damage that I can find. Flipping the card over, you can see that the back is just as immaculate as the front. Looking at our centering, I think it's within spec from top to bottom and side to side. As we get to our corners and our edges are clean. Our corners on the left are good, but on the right, I think there's damage on both corners. And for this Dark Gyarados, we're going to get a grade of mint 9. I'm pretty excited about that. Like it. Let us review a 2000 Pokemon Team Rocket Dark Magneton, a first edition, the number 28 card. Looking at the front of Magneton here, you can see that the surface has no damage. There's no creases or any stains. Our centering from top to bottom and side to side is within this 55 to 60 percent range. Our edges and our corners, I don't see any issues there. As we inspect the back, you can see that the surface looks really good. There's no obvious damage. Our centering from top to bottom looks within spec from left to right. I think it's slightly towards the left, possibly out of tolerance. Looking at our corners and our edges, the only damage I see on them is on the upper right corner. And that's going to give us a grade of mint 9 for this card. I like it. I love 9s, man. I wish they were all 9s. Or actually 10s. Let's look at a 2000 Pokemon Team Rocket Dark Machamp Holo First Edition, the number 10 card. Looking at this card, you can see the holographics are really nice. There's no problems or any damage to the surface of this card. Our centering looks within tolerance from top to bottom and from side to side. The edges and the corners look really good. There's no damage to them. And you can see the first edition symbol right on the front of this card. As Machamp flops over and we look at the back, you can see that the surface of the card and the graphics are nice and clean and there's no damage. Looking at our centering, it's slightly to the left, but I think it might be intolerance from top to bottom. I think it's definitely intolerance. As we get to our edges, they're nice and clean, and we get to our corners, there is a speck or two on the two left corners and the upper right corner. And we're going to get a good grade of mint 9 for Machamp. I like it. We are looking at a 2000 Pokemon Team Rocket Dark Vileplume, a first edition, the number 30 card. The front surface of this card shows no damage, no staining, no creases or bends. Our centering looks really good from top to bottom and left to right. I think it's all within spec. Looking at our edges and our corners, I don't see any damage to them. I think this is a good card. Looking at the back of the card, it looks really clean. I don't see any damage or bends or anything or any staining. Looking at our centering, it looks a little off to the left, possibly out of the 70-30 percentage. Looking at our corners and our edges, they look really good. There might be some slight damage on the lower left and some slight edge damage on the left side, but I don't really see much. Our grade for Dark Vileplume is going to be a near mint 7. Wait a second. That should have been better than that. The centering and the damage should not have took it down that low. Wow. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video and the grades and the cards I presented. Please subscribe and like, and don't forget, you always got to catch them all.